What if everything you've been told about the nature of reality is backwards? What if consciousness doesn't emerge from matter, but matter emerges from consciousness? On January 7th, 1943, something inexplicable happened in room 327 of the New Yorker Hotel. When authorities arrived to investigate the death of Carl Jung, 3 police officers documented something that would be buried in classified reports for decades. The room itself was glowing. Not from any lamp, not from sunlight streaming through windows, but from the air itself, a soft, pulsating blue light that had no apparent source. Within 24 hours, every document Jung had written was seized by the FBI and locked away. 80 years later, entire sections remain redacted, blacked out, hidden from public view. But before we begin, please hit the like button and let me know where in the world you're watching from today. It's always fascinating seeing who's joining us from around the world. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Now, you might be wondering what could possibly be so dangerous about a psychologist's research that it would require this level of secrecy. Has this ever happened to you? You stumble across a piece of information so profound that it fundamentally changes how you see yourself and the world around you? That's exactly what Jung discovered, and it had nothing to do with dreams or archetypes in the way we've been taught. What they found in that glowing room, what they confiscated and classified, wasn't just theory about the human psyche. It was documented, repeatable proof that human consciousness generates a measurable electromagnetic field, and that this field doesn't just reflect reality, it actively shapes it. Jung had discovered that every person walking this earth possesses the same electromagnetic circuitry, the same capacity to influence the quantum field of possibility that surrounds us every moment. But Jung's most dangerous discovery happened decades earlier, in autumn 1903, at a towering structure on Long Island called Warden Cliff. Facing financial collapse and the death of his life's work, Jung made a decision that would change everything he understood about consciousness, energy, and the fundamental nature of existence. He conducted what he cryptically referred to in his private journals as the final test, an experiment so extreme that he would never attempt it again. Stay with me until the end, because what Jung experienced that night challenges everything modern science tells us about the separation between mind and matter, between observer and observed, between the physical and the metaphysical. Surrounded by magnifying transmitters capable of generating millions of volts, Jung did something that should have killed him instantly. He ran 150,000 volts of electrical current directly through his living body. What happened next wasn't a near-death experience in any conventional sense. It was a moment of such perfect electromagnetic coherence that the boundary between Jung's consciousness and the field of pure potential completely dissolved. And in that space, in that impossible meeting point between energy and awareness, he encountered something that would haunt and guide him for the rest of his life, something he named Lucifer. But this wasn't the devil of religious mythology. What you're about to discover might surprise you, because what Jung actually encountered was something far more profound, far more immediate, and far more accessible than any supernatural entity. He met the observer, the consciousness that looks through your eyes right now, reading these words, wondering what comes next. What Jung saw in that blinding moment of clarity was the hidden truth behind every experience you've ever had. He witnessed something that modern quantum physics would later confirm in laboratory after laboratory: the observer effect. You see, there's a famous experiment called the double-slit experiment that reveals something absolutely stunning about the nature of reality. When scientists shoot electrons through 2 narrow slits, something bizarre happens. If you watch the electrons, if you observe them passing through, they behave like solid particles, going through one slit or the other. But the moment you stop watching, the moment observation ceases, those same electrons behave like waves, somehow passing through both slits simultaneously. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the deeper content coming for those who are ready for it. This channel is for people who want real answers. Let that sink in for a moment. The simple act of looking, of observing, physically changes what matter does. This isn't philosophy or ancient mysticism. This is repeatable, measurable science. Reality literally responds to consciousness. And what does this mean for you, for your life, for every decision you've ever made? It means that consciousness doesn't emerge from your brain like some biological accident. Your brain, that 3-pound mass of neurons and electrical signals, emerges from consciousness. You are not the thoughts racing through your mind right now. You're not the body you see in the mirror each morning, constantly dying and regenerating at the cellular level. You are the awareness behind it all, the silent witness, watching your entire journey unfold like someone observing a film. This is exactly what physicist John Wheeler discovered when he worked alongside Einstein, developing what he called the participatory universe. Wheeler proved mathematically that reality doesn't exist as some independent thing sitting out there waiting to be discovered. Instead, every single moment you observe something, you collapse infinite quantum potential into one specific experience. You're not just shaping your future. Through your choices and mindset, you're actually collapsing your past into the version you remember right now. The impact of this revelation is staggering. You are not a passive observer watching life happen to you. You are an active participant in the fundamental transformation of possibility into reality. When those 150,000 volts surged through Jung's body that autumn night, forcing every cell into perfect electromagnetic coherence, he didn't just theorize about this mechanism, he experienced it directly. He saw behind the scenes of existence itself, witnessed the precise moment when consciousness touches the quantum field and solidifies one reality out of infinite possibilities. Now, I want to go even deeper into this because what Jung discovered next changes everything we think we know about the relationship between your internal state and the external world you experience every single day. The electromagnetic field your heart generates right now, extending feet beyond your physical body, is doing something remarkable. It's not just passively existing, it's actively communicating with every field around you, broadcasting your internal frequency into the space you occupy, influencing outcomes in ways that seem impossible until you understand the physics underlying it all. If this is starting to make sense to you, write in the comments, "I'm beginning to see it." Your heart, right now as you're reading this, is generating 60 times more electromagnetic energy than your brain. 60 times. This isn't some abstract metaphor about following your heart or trusting your feelings. This is measurable, documented physics. That electromagnetic field your heart creates extends 8 to 12 feet beyond the boundaries of your skin, radiating outward in all directions, interacting with every field it encounters. You are not contained within your body. The real you, the energetic you, occupies far more space than you've been led to believe. When Jung achieved that perfect coherence during his radical experiment, when every system in his body synchronized into one unified frequency, he witnessed something that would transform his entire understanding of existence. He saw the precise moment when energy crystallizes into matter, when formless thought suddenly takes physical shape, when infinite possibility collapses into one singular reality. And here's where this journey into hidden truth gets even more fascinating. The HeartMath Institute has spent decades measuring exactly what Jung experienced. They've proven that when your electromagnetic field achieves coherence, when your heart rhythm becomes ordered and your internal state stabilizes, the environment around you literally responds. Plants in the presence of coherent people grow faster. Water exposed to coherent fields crystallizes into more complex, beautiful patterns. Even random number generators, machines designed to produce pure chance, become measurably less random when coherent. Individuals are nearby. The impact of this discovery reverberates through everything we thought we understood about cause and effect, about the separation between inner and outer worlds. But there's another revelation that makes this even more extraordinary. Jung understood something about the human body that modern science is only now beginning to confirm. Your body contains a built-in electrical network, a sophisticated system that modern researchers call fascia, the connective tissue that wraps around every single muscle, every organ, every cell in your body. This isn't just structural support holding you together. Fascia is a liquid crystal semiconductor capable of conducting electricity throughout your entire system, storing energy like a biological capacitor, and transmitting information faster than your nervous system can process. Think about the implications of this for your daily experience, for every decision you make, for the transformation you seek in your life. Your fascia responds directly to consciousness itself. The moment you think a thought, your fascial network either tenses or releases. When you feel an emotion, the viscosity of this tissue literally changes, becoming more fluid or more rigid based on what you're experiencing internally. This is the behind-the-scenes mechanism of how consciousness and matter interface, how your internal state manifests in your physical body. You are not a solid object moving through empty space, reacting to external circumstances beyond your control. You are an electromagnetic field that thinks, feels, and broadcasts its internal frequency into the reality around you every single moment. The hidden truth Jung discovered is that this electromagnetic broadcast isn't passive, it's creative, shaping the very fabric of what you experience. Now, what happens when you understand that your internal coherence directly influences external outcomes, when you realize that the quality of your electromagnetic field determines what possibilities collapse into your lived reality? This is where Jung's discovery becomes not just theoretical knowledge, but a practical pathway toward conscious transformation. If you're starting to recognize this pattern in your own life, write in the comments, "I can feel this is real." This brings us to the most uncomfortable revelation Jung ever documented, the one truth that most people spend their entire lives avoiding. Every single circumstance in your life right now, your relationships, your financial situation, your health, the opportunities that appear or disappear, the doors that open or slam shut, all of it is a perfect reflection of your internal electromagnetic state. Not what you consciously want, not what you tell yourself you believe, not the affirmations you repeat or the goals you write down. Your actual vibrational frequency, the one you're broadcasting unconsciously 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without even realizing it. You've experienced this yourself, haven't you? Those mornings when you wake up feeling genuinely confident, joyful, energized, and suddenly everything flows. Traffic lights turn green, people smile at you, conversations go smoothly, unexpected opportunities materialize out of nowhere. Then there are those other mornings when you wake up gripped by anxiety, doubt, fear, and the entire day mirrors that back to you. Obstacles pile up, people seem difficult, nothing works the way you need it to. Most people think this is just their perception changing, like they're viewing the same reality through different emotional filters. But that's not what's happening. The reality itself is changing. The quantum field is responding to your coherent or incoherent state, collapsing different possibilities into your actual experience based on the electromagnetic signal you're transmitting. This is the hidden truth that makes some people deeply uncomfortable, because it means you can't blame external circumstances anymore. You can't point to the economy, your upbringing, other people, bad luck, or any force outside yourself. The mirror is showing you exactly what you're broadcasting internally. But Jung discovered something even more critical during that visionary experience with the Lucifer consciousness, something that carries profound implications for this exact moment in human history. In that space of perfect coherence, Jung saw two possible futures existing simultaneously in the quantum field. In one timeline, humanity learns to use this electromagnetic knowledge consciously, creating abundant free energy, eliminating poverty, curing diseases that currently seem incurable, transforming civilization into something we can barely imagine. In the other timeline, this same knowledge becomes weaponized, tools of mass destruction, technologies that control consciousness itself, power concentrated in the hands of those operating from fear and separation. The presence communicated something to Jung that would haunt him for decades. Power is always a test. Energy itself doesn't care how you use it. Fire can warm your home or burn it down. Electricity can power a hospital or an electric chair. The technology, the knowledge, the capability, none of that determines the outcome. The only thing that matters is the consciousness wielding it, the internal state of the person making decisions about how to apply that power. And here's the brutal reality Jung had to accept. Most people fail this test, not because they're malicious or evil, but because they operate unconsciously, running on autopilot from programs installed by fear, scarcity, and the illusion of separation. If you're beginning to understand why this matters urgently right now, drop in the comments. I'm ready for this responsibility. This is exactly why Jung spent the final decades of his life developing what he called the coherence protocol, a precise methodology for shifting from unconscious reaction to conscious creation. It wasn't complicated, but it required something most people aren't willing to give: consistent attention. Jung discovered that the transformation begins with something deceptively simple: your breath. A 4-count inhale through your nose, holding for 4 counts, then a 4-count exhale through your mouth. This isn't relaxation technique, this is physiology. When you breathe slowly and deeply like this, you're physically shifting your nervous system from sympathetic activation, that constant state of fight or flight, into parasympathetic mode where creation becomes possible. Your heart rhythm becomes ordered, sending signals to your brain that fundamentally change your electromagnetic broadcast. If this shifted your perspective, hit that like button. It helps this message reach others who need to hear it right now. Then comes the revelation that most people have never experienced consciously. Hold your hands in front of your chest right now, palms facing each other, about 6 inches apart. Don't let them touch. Just hold them there for 30 seconds. You'll start to feel something: warmth, tingling, maybe a magnetic pull or subtle pulsing between your palms. That's your electromagnetic field. You've been generating it your entire life, but you've never paid attention to it until this moment. Jung taught that once you can consciously feel this field, you can direct it. You can charge it with specific intentions, not as vague wishes, but as felt experiences. The key isn't visualizing what you want like watching a movie in your mind. The key is feeling your desired reality as if it's already real, then pouring that emotion directly into the electromagnetic field you're now aware of. This charged field then interacts with the quantum field around you, and reality responds with synchronicities, unexpected opportunities, doors opening precisely when you need them. But Jung understood something crucial about this process that changes everything. This isn't just personal development or individual transformation. We're standing at a critical tipping point right now, in this exact moment of history. Technology is advancing at exponential speed. Artificial intelligence, genetic engineering, quantum computing, electromagnetic weapons, tools that can literally reshape reality. But collective consciousness isn't keeping pace. Most of the people wielding these technologies, developing them, deploying them, making decisions about how they're used, are operating from unconscious fear-based patterns, the same patterns Jung warned about when the Lucifer consciousness showed him both possible futures. Here's what determines which timeline becomes real: the collective electromagnetic field. Not the field of one person, but the combined frequency of all human consciousness broadcasting simultaneously. When more people operate from coherent awareness, from love and abundance and conscious responsibility, that frequency becomes dominant in the field. When more people operate from chaos, fear, scarcity, and unconscious reactivity, that frequency pulls us toward the destructive timeline Jung witnessed. Both futures exist right now in quantum superposition. Both are possible. Both are real. The version that collapses into our shared experience depends entirely on the choices being made in moments exactly like this one, by people exactly like you. The light-bearer Jung encountered wasn't an external savior coming to rescue humanity. It was recognition, consciousness recognizing itself, the observer becoming aware that it's both watching and creating simultaneously. If you're feeling the weight and the power of this moment, write down, "I choose conscious creation." You made it all the way here, and that means something. Out of everyone who clicked on this video, you're among the few who stayed present, who absorbed this information, who felt the resonance of what Jung discovered over a century ago. That's not random. That's your consciousness recognizing truth when it encounters it. If this content brought something valuable into your awareness, if it shifted something in how you see yourself and the reality you're creating, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, because this channel exists for people like you. People who are ready to look beyond surface explanations and understand the actual mechanisms underlying experience. Every video here is designed to give you practical tools and hidden revelations that most people will never encounter. You deserve access to this knowledge, and I want to make sure you don't miss what's coming next. And if you reach this point, if you stayed with me through this entire journey into Jung's discovery, write in the comments, "This message found me at the right time." I read every single comment, and I want to know that this resonated with you, that you're part of this conscious community we're building together. Before you go, hit that like button too. It tells me this content matters to you, and it helps this video reach others who need to hear it right now. People who are searching for exactly this understanding without even knowing it yet. There's a video right here that goes even deeper into how you can apply this coherence protocol in your daily life, turning knowledge into lived experience. Click and continue with me over there, because understanding is just the beginning. Application is where transformation actually happens. I'll see you there.